on the beautiful campus of Rochester Christian University and inside of Garth Pleasant Arena. This is Warriors basketball on the Rochester Christian Sports Network. Stephen McDonald here saying hello everyone and welcome to our broadcast as the Rochester Christian Warriors welcome in the Lourdes Gray Wolves for a doubleheader here on a Tuesday night just days before Thanksgiving. The Warrior women knocked off Lourdes not that long ago here from Garth Pleasant Arena. 78-74 was the final in that one. If you were not here with us on the RC Sports Network, the men's game will get going right about the top of the hour here in just a few minutes. We're counting you down to tip-off between the Warriors and the Gray Wolves in what should be a high-scoring affair. Warriors come into this one 5-1 on the season. They had won 5 in a row to begin the year before falling on the road last Wednesday at Cornerstone, 85-81. They've been on a string of close games here of late. We'll see what this game tonight has in store for us. Warriors fans remember back about a week and a half or so ago now to last Saturday when we last met. Brody Parker went the length of the floor in 4.5 seconds to win it for Rochester Christian on that afternoon. 70-69 was the final, and again they fell just a couple days later in their first road contest of the regular season at Cornerstone as they welcome in a 6-0 undefeated Lourdes squad that's also 2-0 to start out conference play. And again, as promised, it should be a high-scoring affair. Warriors come into this one averaging 81 points per game so far, while on the other side, Lourdes comes in averaging just under 86 points per game. And both teams shoot it at a pretty high percentage. We'll step aside for a quick timeout, again counting you down to tip-off between the Warriors and Gray Wolves. When we come back, we'll get you the starting lineups next. Welcome back on the RC Sports Network pregame show, counting you down to tip-off between the Warriors and the Gray Wolves. Stephen McDonald here with you as we take a look now at the starting lineups for both teams, starting with the visiting Gray Wolves. They'll start out Desan Doucette and Sean Monroe. Derek Lively are the guards. Devin Jones and Darrell Jones round things out for their starting five. And on the other side for the Warriors and head coach Clint Pleasant, they'll stick with what they know. It'll be Brody Parker and Gunnar Walters, the guards. Brett White and Dustin Farrow on the wings. And they'll be bookending James Fisher, who will jump it up in just a moment for the Warriors. Counting you down to tip-off on the RC Sports Network pregame show. Brett White comes in red hot to start the season. 22 points per game for him, and that does not include their exhibition game against Oakland that they started the year with back on homecoming weekend, where he poured in 31 points that night. He's shooting at 46% from the floor and over 45% from three-point range. Again, just an absolute scorcher to start the year for Brett White. On the other side, Darrell Jones, just under 18 points per game on the year for him. Also averages right around 7 rebounds per contest as well. So we'll see how those two fare here in just a moment. Warriors 5-1 going against the 6-0 Gray Wolves. 2-0 in conference play so far is Lourdes. Warriors looking to bounce back after their conference opening loss back on Wednesday to Cornerstone, but they have been nearly impossible to beat on their home floor dating back to the start of last season. They're 18-3 in those 21 games. That does not include, though, the exhibition with Oakland. But again, 18-3 in their last 21 regular season home games on their home floor. We'll step aside one final time, come back with the national anthem and opening tip between the Warriors and Gray Wolves on the RC Sports Network.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school, and I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character. I am a champion of character.
I am a champion of character.
I am a champion of character.
I am a champion of character.
Opening tip-off just moments away here on the RC Sports Network. Stephen McDonald here with you, counting you down to tip-off. Once again, the starting five for both teams. If you're just joining us, we went through it a moment ago on our pregame coverage, but if you just tuned in, Desan Doucette, Sean Monroe, and Derek Fairley are the guards for Lourdes. Devin Jones and Darrell Jones round out the starting five for them. On the other side for the Warriors, they'll stick with their usual five. Brody Parker and Gunnar Walters, the guards. Dustin Farrow and Brett White on the wing. And James Fisher is the big man as always. And with that, we send it down to the floor to our SID and serving as PA announcer for the evening, Hussein Murray.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Garth Pleasant Arena for today's men's basketball matchup between the Lourdes Gray Wolves and your Rochester Christian University Warriors. The Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference and the NAIA are committed to maintaining the true spirit of competition in athletics. As such, please do your part by showing respect to every spectator, athlete, coach, and official involved in today's contest. And now for the starting lineup. First the lineup for the Gray Wolves. At guards in Kettering, Ohio, number 2, Dassan Doucet. At guards in Charleston, West Virginia, number 3, Sean Monroe. At guards in Cleveland, Ohio, number 11, Derek Farrell. At guards in Toledo, Ohio, number 14, Devin Jones. And at forwards from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, number 20, Daryl Jones. The coach for the Grails, Jake Dupree, who's assisted by Brett Loff and Clark Malloy. And now, the starting lineup for your Rochester Christian University Warriors. At guard, Troy, Michigan, number 5, Brody Parker. At forward, from Belmont, Ontario, number 8, Dustin Farrell. At forward, from Battle Creek, Michigan, number 10, Brett White. At guard, from Rochester Hills, Michigan, number 11, Gunnar Walters. And at center, from Armada, Michigan, number 24, James Fisher. The coach for the Warriors is Clint Plummer, who is assisted by Corey Rice, Terrence Barrett, Scott Sanders, and Armand Cutler.
There you go. That is the word from down on the floor with our SID and public address announcer for the evening, Hussein Murray. Nothing left to do now but to jump it up and get this one underway. Leading scorers for both these teams, it's Sean Monroe, number 3 in the black and orange for Lourdes, 29 points per game so far this season. On the other side for the Warriors, it's Brett White, and his 22 points per game. Tip is up, and we are underway, controlled with Lourdes. Monroe goes straight away for Darrell Jones. Jones working against Fisher. Send it this side into the corner for 3. Knocked down on the triple try was Fairley. Kept alive by the Warriors. In control of it is Brody Parker off a screen from Brett White. Hill Sky doesn't go. There was some contact there, no call. Got his own miss, goes up, no. And a whistle and a foul on the second try. Foul's going to go on Darrell Jones. Brett White to the free throw line. He's led the Warriors in scoring each of the last 2 games, had 27 as he misses the first free throw, had 27 against Mount Vernon Nazarene, and had 31 in the loss back on Wednesday against Cornerstone. Second free throw for him rattles home. And even despite those 27 against Mount Vernon Nazarene, it was Brody Parker who won it at the buzzer at this end of the floor on a lay-in. He finished that day with 16 points, stepping back, launching the 2, and it goes. Gassan Doucet, our first field goal of the night, floated inside Brett White, goes to the far corner for Dustin Farrow. Whistle and a foul inside. Looks like they're looking at a wet spot down underneath the hoop along the baseline. Gunnar Walters will toss in. They'll move it up high for Brody Parker with 15 to shoot. He's going to drive through the middle, floats, and scores it. Going baseline, hanging was Sean Monroe. And then dribbling it out of bounds was Brett White. Coach Pleasant wants a video review. We do have that capability inside of Garth Pleasant Arena. The officials don't grant him it, so we play on, and there's a whistle and a foul. And we've actually seen here in game the video review be utilized a couple weeks ago here. Believe that was the game against Marion that they used it to overturn a call late in that one. Free throw hits home to tie us at 3. And that was a big review as well, as there was only about 5 or so seconds left in regulation at the time. And they overturned the call and gave the ball back to Marion. Walters wants to get it over to Brett White, picked up his dribble, and he got it to Brody Parker. They'll call over and back. Crowd and Coach Pleasant want a foul, as it looked like Brody Parker was pushed. There is no such call. Shot is up, rebound tapped and out by Brett White. Just about 2:10 into our basketball game. Lourdes leads it by 1. Backing it out goes Sean Monroe. He works off a screen by Ross Thompson. Stops. He'll rise and fire off the heel. Rebound battled for and then corralled by Fisher. Fisher comes into this one 6.5 rebounds per game so far. Brody thought about the 3. Instead, he'll gallop inside, left it short. Got it back in the corner. Skip it far side for Walters, who goes on a drive. He'll reverse it back around the arc, and that's intercepted on the run by Fairley, who lays it in. Fairley, a freshman out of Cleveland, Ohio, where he attended Lutheran West. White goes inside in traffic, doesn't get the shot to go. Rebound was tipped out and controlled by Derek Fairley. They'll get it back to him. Swings it for Monroe. Couple jab steps working on Walters. He wants the 3. It comes up short. He gets knocked down and fouled. Clock stops about 3.5 minutes in. Sean Monroe at the free throw line. Knocks down the first. Monroe, the leading scorer on this team, mentioned 29 points per game. He's already had 6 games this year of 20 or more as he knocks down the second. Again, that was a 3-point try, so he'll have 1 more coming at the line. And in fact, for Monroe, a season ago, his season high came against the Warriors. He had 30 in a game as he hits the 3rd free throw. So Monroe goes perfect at the line, 3 out of 3. Lourdes leads it by 6. Send it outside to Walters, who backs up. Now he'll attack. Tafaro with 8 to shoot, lost his balance and lost the basketball. Away with it to Sean Monroe. Took the extra step and traveled, did Devin Jones. That's a turnover back the Warriors' way. Brody Parker has 2, Brett White has 1. Those are the 3 points so far for Rochester Christian. Desan Doucette has 4, Sean Monroe 3. Derek Fairley got a transition lay-in off a steal. He has 2. Go all the way down to the baseline. Brett White kept it alive. Brody Parker thought about the 3. He'll attack. Leans back. It comes up well short. And then there's a foul underneath. It'll be a baseline inbound for the Warriors. Gunnar Walters will toss in. He's still out there with the starting group. Brett White, James Fisher, Dustin Farrow, Brody Parker. Wants to post it up for Fisher. He does. Fisher backs his way in, pivots, hooks, and it runs in. That's what Fisher will do for you. Gets inside and just kind of worms his way through. Up fake for Desan Doucette. Jump shot dies on the rim. Rebound Brett White. Looked like they wanted to go in the direction of Farrow. Instead, kick it far side for Parker for 3. First 3 for the Warriors tonight goes to Brody Parker. 3 attempt at the other end is well off the mark by Devin Jones. Try to stretch it up the floor looking for Brett White, who lays it in. Just like that, 5 quick points by the Warriors. It's a 3 by Brody Parker and then a transition deuce by Brett White. 14-10 to go in the first half. Warriors by 1. Looks like a little bit of a zone matchup now by the Warriors. They can do this, switch between man and zone. Going in, layup does not go. Whistle and a foul is going to go against James Fisher. That should bring us to our first media timeout of the basketball game. 13:56 to go in the first half. Warriors 10, Gray Wolves 9. We'll take the timeout with them on the Rochester Christian Sports Network.
If you don't make it, you just don't make it. Everybody ain't champions.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character. It just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school. And I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character.
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 Warriors lead it by 1, 13:56 to go in the first half as we make our way out of the first media timeout. Rochester Christian has shot at 50% to begin play. Just 2 out of 8 for Lourdes on the other side, but they are 5 out of 5 at the free throw line. And 3 of those came courtesy of a 3-point free throw trip by Sean Monroe. He got fouled by Gunnar Walters. They'll shoot some free throws as we make our way back out of the timeout and bury the first one. Second free throw's up and it runs out and comes down to Dustin Farrow. That's their first miss at the line tonight. So Brody Parker has 5, and on the other side, Desan Doucette has 5 as well. Here's Farrow, gives it up to Brett White. Now Walters, couple 11s going at each other. It's him and Derek Fairley. 5 seconds to shoot for the Warriors. Fisher has to hurry. Hooks, comes up short, but it got rim. And the defensive board for Ross Thompson. Here's Doucette. Doucette, a transfer out of Mercyhurst, where he spent 2 seasons. Hook shot doesn't go for Ross Thompson. Warriors the rebound as we're tied at 10. Drop it off to Fisher, who stops, goes up, and gets hit on the arm on the way up. So it'll be free throws for Fisher. He's been solid at the line this season, 74% so far, 20 out of 27. Second free throw does go. Fisher 3 points and 2 rebounds already in this one. Gets it over to Monroe. Monroe drives on Farrow, now backs it out with 10 to shoot. Leaves it for Thompson, who whips it around. Free throw line jumpers up, and it won't go for Desan Doucette. Float it this way. Parker wants a 3. That comes up short. Off and running. Behind the back feed. Into the corner for 3. That's off the heel by Doucette. Left alone for 3 up top. Rebound tapped and controlled by Fisher. Now Walters, driving left, gets all the way down to the baseline, wraps it outside for Brody Parker. Fisher holds onto it, finds a cutting gunner Walters, and he traveled with it, got it stuck to his hip. Just couldn't put it down in time. That'll be a turnover by Rochester Christian. That'll be their 4th. Picking up the dribble was Sean Monroe. Gets it outside now to, looks like Kendall Perkins, who's come in. Outside to Monroe. Farrow contesting the 3. Does not matter. He drops it in. Sean Monroe for 3. Monroe on his 4th school now. Started out at Urbana, then to Charleston, then Pikeville, and now Lourdes. All level at 13. 10:45 to go in the first half. Into the far corner it went to Kendall Perkins. He'll reset it out high for Sean Monroe. Monroe has it into the corner. Perkins for 3, runs it around the rim and popped out to James Fisher. Here's Walters on the attack, scooping layup does not go. Monroe looking to push, lay in at the other end doesn't go. Both teams now looking to push the pace a bit. Brody Parker on the run gets bumped, and what's the call? They'll say a foul. Foul's going to go against Ross Thompson. His second, team's fifth. It'll be a baseline inbound for Gunnar Walters. He'll float it in to Polatoglu, who just came in for Fisher. Polatoglu hooks and pushed it left. Away with it comes Monroe into the front court. And that'll be an offensive foul on Lourdes. They get Caden Cruz with the foul. Timeout on the floor, 9:57 to go in the first half. All tied at 13 between the Warriors and the Gray Wolves on your home for Warriors basketball. .57 to go in the first half, 13 all between the Rochester Christian Warriors and Lourdes Gray Wolves. Stephen McDonald here with you on the RC Sports Network. Warriors essentially playing with their starting five out there right now. The only difference is swap Polatoglu in for James Fisher. Brody Parker steps back with it, working on Desan Doucette, floated inside. Brett White goes up and gets the friendly bounce. For Brett White, that gives him 7 already in this one. Gunnar Walters comes away with the defensive rebound. Try to go inside for Polatoglu, who held it in on the baseline. Farrow, 4-3, off the back of the iron, rebound Doucette. Three is up and through at the other end. That was Caden Cruz. Walters, Polatoglu comes to screen for him. He'll step back. That's a long two and rings it home. .15 to go in the first half. Warriors by 1. Cruz off the peel back, took a three, followed his own miss off the floor, and lays it in. Brody Parker, head down, gets to the rim, lays it in. Very reminiscent of his game winner here last Saturday, where he just put his head down and got busy right to the rim and just flipped it up and in. On the other end, lay in good off glass for Sean Monroe. As the team's just trading twos now. Looks like Fisher and Ashton Gould will check in at the next whistle. Leaning in, floating one up was Brody Parker. Send it outside to Gunnar Walters. picked up his dribble, finds Brody Parker for three, just grazed the rim. Rebound down to Cruz. Mentioned the couple subs getting ready to come in for the Warriors. Looks like Prakash Ketterhagen getting ready to come in as well for Lourdes. Up fake shot does not go. Rebound Farrow. Float it this way, up the floor looking for Brody Parker. Now Polatoglu leaves it for Gunnar Walters. White gonna drive, gets all the way baseline, attacking. No, but a whistle and a foul with 6:43 to go in the first half. Warriors trail by just one. Brett White will have an opportunity at the free throw line. White went 1 for 2 earlier on in this first half at the line. He'll have a couple more coming. First one is good. That gives him 8 for the game, also 3 rebounds, 1 assist so far. And we're tied at 20. And this is a Warriors team as he goes up with the second. Misses it, tried to follow his own miss, and just barely missed it out of bounds. As I was just about to say, this is a Warriors team that shoots it very well at the free throw line this season, almost 82% coming into play tonight. So far, just 3 out of 6 in this one. This one runs off the rim. Offensive rebound goes on the putback by Prakash Ketterhagen. Warriors still shooting at a pretty high 42% in this half. Fisher lost it out of bounds on the feed up high from Gunnar Walters. On the other side for Lourdes, they're shooting at just around 32%, stepping into a 3 and coming up well short. That was Paxton Payne. Brody Parker gets by his defender, up fakes, fires it, does not go. Rebound was tapped out by Fisher, but he tapped it out to Lourdes. On the run is Perkins, who had it rejected by Brett White. Walters on the run. Rebound Fisher, who puts it back in. 22 all, 5:20 to go in the first half. Sean Monroe has the basketball. He'll step back, send it outside, swing it around the arc. Cruz for 3, book it. Second 3 of the half for Caden Cruz. Warriors come up empty on their end. They trailed 25-22 after the 3 by Caden Cruz. He's got 8, ties him with Sean Monroe for a team-high 8. Brett White has 8 on the other side. Those 3 with a game high in that category, while Brody Parker just behind them has 7. But we'll take a quick timeout from Garth Pleasant Arena with the Gray Wolves leading at 25-22 on your home for Warriors basketball.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to leave being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAIA is Champions of Character.
4:53 to go in the first half on the RC Sports Network. Stephen McDonald here with you as always. Warriors women's team knocked off Lourdes just a little while ago from inside of Garth Pleasant Arena. 78-74 was the final in that one. Rochester Christian men currently trail 25-22 here in the first half. Off the three-pointer, the second of the half by Caden Cruz. Here's Monroe, goes back to Cruz, who wants another three. Not going to get it this time. Rebound corralled by Brett White. Fisher and Gould do check in out of the timeout. They're out there with Brett White, Brody Parker, and Gunnar Walters. White stumbled and lost it out of bounds. 4:24 to go in the first half. Warriors are in the bonus, still with plenty of time left in this first half. Saw that in both games last time we were here as well. Made quick work of getting in the bonus against both Marion and Mount Vernon Nazarene. Fisher has 4 seconds to shoot. He'll turn and caught iron, but a defensive board for the Gray Wolves. And that's Perkins. Perkins steps back, wants a three, got the three. Push the lead out to 6. 4-3 of the half for Lourdes. They're 4 out of 13. Warriors trying to answer back on their offensive end, come up short with Brody Parker. Driving in, going high off glass, no, but going down to the floor after a foul was Paxton Payne. Mentioned earlier on in our contest, Sean Monroe playing for his 4th school of his collegiate career. Paxton Payne, pretty well traveled himself, played for UMKC and Cleveland State before landing here with Lourdes. He's at the free throw line and gets the first one to go. And during his time at UMKC was a Summit League Academic Honor Roll recipient and was a Summit League Commissioner's List of Academic Excellence recipient as well. As he goes 2 out of 2 at the free throw line, 30-22 with 3.5 to go in the first half. Lourdes 8 out of 9 at the free throw line to begin play. Send it far corner. Walters 4-3. Warriors needed that. Gets it back to a 5-point differential. That's also just their second 3 of the half. They're 2 out of 5. Get it back to the logo for Monroe. 10 to shoot for the Gray Wolves. He's working on Dustin Farrow. Rises and fills it. Confident take on the 2-pointer by Sean Monroe. Here's Ashton Gould off a screen by Fisher. Send it outside, and the extra pass was going in the direction of Brody Parker. Whistle and a foul on the pass. Foul's going to go on Perkins, his first. And again, the Warriors in the bonus. It'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Dustin Farrow. And it pops out for him. Battle for the rebound is won by Brett White. He'll toss it outside for Walters for 3. Too strong that time for him. 2:15 to go in the first half. 32-25. Lourdes out in front with the basketball. It rests in the hands of Monroe, and they get it outside to Cruz. He'll up fake and had his pocket picked by Brody Parker. Parker driving, turning, and comes up short. It's knocked out, picked up off the floor by Paxton Payne. Couple bodies go down to the hardwood. Clock stops with 1:44 to go in the half. And we'll get a timeout called, 32-25. Lourdes out in front. We'll take the timeout too from Garth Pleasant Arena on the Rochester Christian Sports Network.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school, and I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values.
Back out of the timeout called by Lourdes. They lead it by 7 with just over a minute and a half to go in the half. Both teams are 10 of 28 shooting so far in this one. Lourdes 8 of 9 at the free throw line, pulling up baseline and scoring. That was Sean Monroe again, showing off that mid-range prowess and also showing why he averages 29 points per game coming into play tonight. Brett White gets double teamed and nearly turned it over into the hands of Derek Fairley. So far for Monroe, 12 points, just 4 of 10 shooting though. Caden Cruz has 8 points and 2 rebounds. On the other side, Brett White leads the Warriors with 8 and 5 rebounds, while Brody Parker has 7. Try to go into the far corner for Brett White, whistling a foul before the pass. Foul's going to go on Fairley, his first. Free throw does not go for Gunnar Walters. Final minute of play here in the first half. Stephen McDonald here with you on the RC Sports Network. Monroe on the drive, crossed over middle of the paint, does not get the shot to go, but he hits the deck and draws the foul. Looks like they're going to get James Fisher. That'll be his second. Warriors can give up. Actually, that was their last foul before Lourdes would go in the bonus. It'll mean free throws anyway for Sean Monroe. He knocks down the first, and it's a 10-point ball game. Lourdes comes in 6-0 on the year, 2-0 in conference play. Meanwhile, Warriors 5-1 on the year. They suffered their lone loss last time out back on Wednesday against Cornerstone. This is their first time at home during the conference schedule. 30 seconds to go in the half. It's Lourdes by 11. Brody Parker attacking and scoring. Warriors bench shouting one stop as the shot clock is off. Sean Monroe recognizes this. He'll hang out with it at the logo with 10 to go in the half. Working on Dustin Farrow, they screen for him. 3 to go in the half, 2 to go. Now he's got Gould on him, pulls up, and it hops off the rim, no good. And that is how the first half will end. They settle for 1 and come up empty, but they will take the 36-27 lead into the halftime break. Some stats from that first 20 minutes of action before we send you to the half. Neither team shot it particularly high in terms of percentage in that first half. Just about 38% for the Warriors, 37% roughly for Lourdes. But the Gray Wolves do go 10 out of 11 at the free throw line in that first half. They're led by Sean Monroe, who's already in double figures with 14. On the other side, Brody Parker has 9, while Brett White has 8 and 5 rebounds. And again, we send you to the half from Garth Pleasant Arena with our score, Lourdes 36 and Rochester Christian 27. second half just about set to get going between the Rochester Christian Warriors and the Lourdes Gray Wolves. Lourdes leads it after 20, 36-27. Both teams shot an identical 11 out of 30 in that first half, but the big difference in that first half of play was 10 out of 11 at the free throw line for Lourdes, just 3 out of 8 on the other side for Rochester Christian. Sean Monroe, the leading scorer for the Gray Wolves, already in double figures, has 14. Caden Cruz has 8. On the other side for the Warriors, Brody Parker has 9. Brett White has 8. Gunnar Walters has 5, a pair of rebounds, and 1 assist. Warriors only 4 assists as a team in that first half. Typically, you'll see Gunnar Walters leading the charge in that category as he averages right around 7 or 8 per game, only the 1 in that first half. We're underway in the second. Stephen McDonald here with you. Fisher pivoting in the paint, sends it back outside Brody Parker with 10 to shoot. He'll drive, float, and fill it. Positive start to the second half for the Warriors. Monroe turns the corner on Parker and splashes it through. That's been his area of the floor here tonight. Get down to the baseline and just rise up with confidence. Brody Parker holds it in on the baseline. He'll go up and get fouled. Only about 55 seconds in to this second half. Another early foul going against Lourdes. Parker to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Knocks down the first. And again, Warriors haven't shot it spectacularly at the line today, uncharacteristic of them for sure, as he knocks in both, and he'll help out their cause in that department. And that'll be important for the Warriors in this second half if they can get to the line and convert more of these free throws, as they got into the bonus with several minutes to go in that first half. This one's tapped out and controlled by Rochester Christian. Gunnar Walters picks it up off to Brody Parker. Able to hold on to his dribble. 38-31, a minute and a half into the second half. Crossing over, going baseline was Gunnar Walters. Farrow backs it out with 8 to shoot. To the free throw line for Fisher, who rises, and it comes up short. And then we're going to get a grab and a foul on the rebound. Farrow went up for the rebound. Devin Jones grabbed a hold. And that is where the call comes. Foul goes on Jones, his second. That'll be the team's second of our second half. And again, that's going to be the recipe for the Warriors, as left alone underneath the hoop is Dustin Farrow for 2. Might be the easiest 2 points the freshman sees all season. He gets it back down to a 5-point game. Give the assist to Brett White there. First 2 points for Farrow tonight. 3 up on the way and off by Darrell Jones. Warriors have a chance to get ever so closer as Parker goes, flips, and scores. 3-point ball game, 2.5 minutes into our second half. Here's Derek Fairley as the crowd starting to come alive once more. Now Monroe, marked by Brett White. Far side of the floor, they get it back to him. 10 to shoot. Coming to screen for him is Doucette. He'll go in, and that's swatted by Fisher. Gunnar Walters on the go, leaves it off. Brett White, corner pocket three. Runs around the rim and out. Rebound was tapped out by Fisher into the hands of Derek Fairley. He'll pull up at the free throw line and knock it home. Here's Brody Parker. He's got 15, gives it up to Brett White, who's got 8. He'll get down to the baseline. That was disrupted by Darrell Jones. Elbow jumper is pure for Brody Parker. Warriors, a very balanced scoring team. They've had several players already lead them in a game this season in terms of points, as charging in and putting it in was Sean Monroe with a lot of contact. Fast action to begin the second half as Brett White comes to a jump stop, pulls up baseline, does not go. Offensive board, Fisher. He'll turn and use the square. Warriors outscoring Lourdes here in the first few minutes of our second half, 12-6. It's 42-39. Stepping back goes Monroe, and again, he is money from that spot. He knows he can get to that spot, and when he does, he has not missed. Here's Brett White at the logo. Float it to Fisher. He'll pound his way into the paint, spiral, and score. We said at the top of our broadcast, these are two teams that know how to score the basketball. Each came into play tonight north of 80 points per game on the year, as there's a trip and a foul on the dribble drive by Monroe. And that'll bring us to our first media timeout of our second half. 14:43 to go in the game. It's 44-41. Lourdes with the lead, but Rochester Christian outscoring them 14-8 to begin the second half. We will take the timeout from Garth Pleasant Arena. This is your home for Warriors basketball. Sean Monroe, for the 7th time already this season in 8 games, or check that, 7 games, has now put up 20 or more points. He's got 20 currently. As a team, Lourdes has 44. They lead it by 3 over Rochester Christian. Stephen MacDonald here with you on the RC Sports Network. It was 36-27 at the break. Lourdes had the lead, but the Warriors outscoring them 14-8 since the break. But Sean Monroe doing his part, has 20 points on 7 of 16 shooting. He's 5 out of 5 at the free throw line. Baseline drive, lay in, good by Darrell Jones. Brody Parker on the other side for the Warriors, who has it now, has 17 points on 7 of 15 shooting. Fisher left alone at the free throw line, so he works his way in, and that'll be a blocking foul on the drive. They'll get Derek Fairley. No continuation on the basket for Fisher, so it'll be a baseline inbound for the Warriors. Brett White gets the inbound, corner three, hits off the side of the backboard. He takes a tumble out of bounds, and that should be 3 free throws upcoming for Brett White. They'll get Devin Jones for his third, team's fourth, with 14-14 to go in the game. Brett White at the free throw line where he's 2 out of 4, and he knocks down the first. Kendall Perkins will check back in. Devin Jones will sit with those 3 fouls. The Warriors said he was fouled on a 3, but they only give him 2 free throws. And it did look like from our vantage point that it was a 3, but I guess they'll say his foot was on the line. He does knock down both free throws either way, and it's a 3-point game. 10 to shoot for Lourdes. They'll go baseline, go up with it, and get fouled. They'll get Fisher. For Fisher, that'll be his third. Team's second. Still 13:52 to go in the game. First free throw goes through for Darrell Jones. Jones, a high percentage free throw shooter, just under 82% on the year. Came in averaging just over 6 attempts per game at the free throw line. That was just his first attempt of the night and made good on it. He'll have one more and does not get it to go the second time around. Just above the free throw line for Polatoglu. He'll send it over to Farrow, who goes in. Counted and a foul for Dustin Farrow. Foul goes against Perkins, his second. Free throw goes for Dustin Farrow to complete the 3-point play, and it's a 1-point ball game. Warriors outscoring the Gray Wolves since the break, 19-11. Pull-up 2 goes down for Darrell Jones. Brett White goes to the free throw line, gets it back from Polatoglu. He'll go in, sky it, and score it. .55 to go in the game, 49-48 Lourdes. Warriors get a poke away but held in, and that's rejected by Brett White. He goes upstairs and rejects the 2-pointer by Desan Doucette. Ball goes out of bounds. We'll stay at this end with 11 to shoot. Now 8 to shoot on the inbound. Send it into the corner. Thought about the 3, instead backs it out to Doucette. He's got 2 to shoot. Gives it up with 1 to shoot. And it banks home. My goodness. Derek Fairley for 3. Falling away in front of his own bench with 1 to shoot on the shot clock. He puts it in with some help from the backboards here at Garth Pleasant Arena. It's 52-48. Going down the lane, doesn't go. Walters for 3. Give me that. And if recent history, as going in and laying it in, is Darrell Jones, if recent history tells us anything, it's that we should be in store for another fantastic finish here at Garth Pleasant Arena. As last weekend alone, the Warriors had both games come down to the final possession, one of which came in overtime as this ball is poked away by Doucette. Lourdes off and running. Doucette gets it in the near side right corner, goes back outside for Darrell Jones. He does not get the triple. Rebound Brett White. Walters will slow it down in the front court, gives it off to Polatoglu. Now comes out to screen for Brody Parker. He'll vacate. Parker slams on the brakes, drops it off to Polatoglu, who does not get it to go. Took one hop off the rim. Inside of 11 to play, going in, finger roll finish for Sean Monroe. Showing off the full arsenal here in the second half so far. And then a whistle outside and a foul. For Monroe, he's already at 22. 8 out of 17 from the floor. Brody Parker leads the Warriors with 17. Brett White, the other Warrior, in double figures with 12. He's also got 7 rebounds, so keep an eye on him to get a double-double. He still has 10.5 minutes to get 3 rebounds. He's out there now with Brody Parker, Polatoglu, Walters, and Ashton Gould. Walters goes in. That shot looked to be disrupted by Paxton Payne. He's on the run with it now. Extra pass. 3 is on the way, and that's pure. Caden Cruz. He's knocked down a couple threes here tonight. His latest makes it an 8-point ball game. Polatoglu turns, hooks, and fills. Monroe weaving his way through traffic, does not get the lay-in to go. Foul's gonna go on, looks like they got Gunnar Walters. Check that. It was 14, that's Polatoglu. That'll be just his first, team's third. 9:54 to go in the game, 59-53 our score. We'll take the timeout on the floor on the RC Sports Network.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to leave being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAIA is Champions of Character.
Back out of the timeout, 9:54 to go in the game, 59-53 our score. Checking in on Sean Monroe, who will inbound it here for Lourdes. He's got 22 so far. His season high is 34. He gets the basketball here in a crowd, sends it outside for 3, and that's through. Couple threes by Caden Cruz. Hit one before the timeout, and now on the other side of the timeout. Tried to push it up the floor, picked off by Gunnar Walters. Skip it across the floor to Ashton Gould. Now this way, Brett White on the attack. He'll lean back baseline, come up short. Polatoglu the offensive rebound. He'll pound the basketball, now dish it outside to Gould. And reset it at the point with Gunnar Walters with 10 on the reset. Baseline it goes to Gould. Got to put up a shot with 3. He'll float. Caught the underside of the rim. And it looks like it'll be a sideline inbound coming from the far side for the Warriors. That desperation shot by Gould did technically catch the rim, albeit the underside of the rim, so they do get that partial reset to 20. There's 13 left on that. 8:45 to go in the game. Fisher out high with it. Gives it up to Gould. Now Brody Parker drives against Paxton Payne. 3 to shoot, 2 as he leans back and makes it look easy for 2. And there are a couple of guys on this floor tonight that make that shot look easy when it's not, when that hand is up in your face. The guy who has the basketball now, Sean Monroe, is one of them. Brody Parker and Gunnar Walters are the other two that I would say make that shot look easier than it is. This ball's tapped out of bounds. We'll see which way they say. And it looks like it's going to stay at this end. Sean Monroe has the basketball. 22 points for him. Get it inside. Cruz. Turn and fire for 2. Doesn't go. Rebound down to Brett White. Again, he's eyeing a double-double here tonight. This lob looking for Fisher. Ricochets off iron. On the run is Perkins, who lost the handle. Into the hands of Sean Monroe. And they'll slow it down. Monroe being marked by the freshman Gould. And he'll go in and lay it up and in. He went down after the layup. Brody Parker on the run. He'll go in and score. Brody Parker certainly has the green light to do that. When he gets the basketball, just put his head down and go. Baseline drive contested, but does not matter. The 2 goes for Doucette. 7 minutes to play in our basketball game, 66-57. Brett White has the basketball, gives it up above the free throw line to Fisher. Fisher gonna walk his way in, and that's an offensive foul. And that's a tough break for Fisher. Had a very similar play to that earlier on this half. They called the previous one a blocking foul. This time they call him for the charge. Timeout will be called by Rochester Christian and head coach Clint Pleasant. With 6:50 to go in the game, they trail at 66-57. We'll take the timeout on the Rochester Christian Sports Network. Let's check out the upcoming schedule for the Warriors. They still have 6:50 to go in this one. They trail 66-57. Their upcoming schedule looks like this on December 4th. That's a Wednesday. They'll be at Aquinas. Then on December 7th, on a Saturday, they're at Madonna. They'll return home a week later on Saturday the 14th against Lawrence Tech. That'll be a doubleheader with the women's team. The women's game will tip off at 1 o'clock Eastern. The men's game scheduled for about 3 o'clock Eastern, or 30 minutes after the conclusion of the women's game. And then after that, they'll go back out on the road for a game on the 18th at Cleary. And that is the upcoming schedule for the first half of the month of December. But again, there's 6:50 to go in this game. 66-57 our score as we make our way out of the timeout called by the Warriors. They have 2 remaining. Stephen McDonald here with you on the RC Sports Network. Warriors 18-3 going back to the start of last season at home. That was contested by Fisher going down to the floor, and drawing the foul was Darrell Jones. Bit of a delayed whistle that time by our officiating crew, as it looks like they'll get Brett White for his second. That'll put Jones at the free throw line. And he does get the first one to go. Couple touches off the rim. Jones 2 out of 3 now at the free throw line. Second one coming, and same thing. Couple touches around the rim and goes. He'll go to 3 out of 4 at the free throw line tonight. 6:20 to go in the game. Gunnar Walters has it. Looks like Dustin Farrow getting ready to come back in for the Warriors. We'll see if he does here on that stoppage, and he does. And so now with that last foul a moment ago by Lourdes, the Warriors now in the bonus for the final 6:13. Foul goes on Caden Cruz, his third. Fisher at the free throw line, 1-1, and it goes. He'll have one more at the line, try to dig into this lead just a touch. Second one goes through for him as well. So again, for the final 6:13 of this one, the Warriors will be in the bonus. They trail at 68-59. It's in the hands of Sean Monroe. He'll kick it over to Perkins, who stopped just above the free throw line and backed it out. Now Monroe directing traffic. Sends it over to Cruz. Long range 3. That's off the heel. Farrow, the freshman, comes away with the rebound. It was a long rebound off the back end. And now Gunnar Walters, bounce feed for Fisher. Fisher gonna bang his way to the middle. Steps up and gets it to creep over the front of the rim, and that's good for 2. .5:15 to go in the game. Far corner, it goes to Jones, and he'll knock it down. A long 2 for him from that corner. Here's Fisher straight away. Parker stops, and it won't go. Perkins got the rebound, but he stepped on the line. Warriors catch a bit of a break there as Perkins got the defensive rebound, but he stepped out of bounds as he came down with it. That'll send us to another timeout on the floor. 4:51 to go in the game, 70-61 our score. The Warriors will play this out, though, in the bonus. We'll step aside for just a moment on the Rochester Christian Sports Network.
The value of champions character across all institutions is a message that we can all get behind.
The purpose behind Champions of Character is to have that student-athlete experience be one of growth.
Men's basketball on campus, we make sure that we give back with a smile and with a purpose.
Our goal as coaches is for our players to leave being better men, better husbands, better fathers, and better members in their community.
NAIA is Champions of Character.
Sean Monroe has 24 points on 9 of 18 shooting for the game. Caden Cruz has used 4 3-pointers to score 14 points. He also has 3 rebounds in this one. Darrell Jones is the other Gray Wolf in double figures with 11. On the other side for the Warriors, Brody Parker has 21. James Fisher has 13 and 8 rebounds, while Brett White has 12 and 8 rebounds, so keep an eye on those two for a possible double-double with 4:51 to go in the basketball game. And the Warriors might need double-doubles from those two if they want to come back in this one. They'll have it on a baseline inbound with Gunnar Walters. 20 on the possession. Gets it into Brett White. He'll step back and post it up for James Fisher, who works his way in, off glass, and scores. Far side of the floor, Perkins gave it up to Darrell Jones. Jones goes to work on Fisher, into the corner for 3. That's through. Derek Fairley for 3. For Fairley, that's 10. Four minutes to go in the basketball game. Walters steps back, catches a screen from Fisher. He wants a 3, and he'll get the 3. Warriors answer back, but they'll need a stop here. Darrell Jones goes baseline. He'll get caught up in a crowd, sends it outside to Fairley, goes one more for Monroe. Extra pass into the corner for 3. Back to back, this time it's Perkins. Walters with the off arm gets the call, and the Warriors will give it back with 3:19 to go. Straight away for Darrell Jones. He'll spiral on Fisher, send it back outside for Desan Doucette. Desan drives and has it knocked away by Fisher out of bounds. 3 minutes to go in the basketball game. 10-point lead for the Gray Wolves. Warriors in trouble of dropping back-to-back games to begin conference play after starting out the year 5-0. Backing up with it is Perkins. He just knocked down a corner 3 a second ago. Driving, stepping back is Fairley, and he knocks it down with 1 to shoot. Parker steps into a 3, that comes up short. Rebound comes down to Perkins. Perkins stutter steps, goes in, goes off glass, no. Warriors have to push it up floor here with 2:25 to go. Lob it into the corner. Brett White spots up for 3. That rattles off. Into the front court goes Fairley. And he'll alertly just back it out and try to use some clock. Fairley still with it, working on Gunnar Walters. Nearly threw it away on the near sideline. Sean Monroe came over and got it. 7 to shoot. He'll back his way in on Brody Parker. Does not get the shot to go. That was tightly contested by Brody Parker. Minute 45 to go. Up the floor it goes. Turning, and it doesn't go off the back of the iron for Dustin Farrow. Gunnar Walters going to get hit for the foul, trying to go after that loose ball against Derek Fairley. That'll be the third on him as Fisher will check out, likely for the final time. So out there for the Warriors, it's Gould, Farrow, Brett White, Brody Parker, Gunnar Walters. Free throw goes for Derek Fairley. Second free throw good for him as well. And again, the Gray Wolves hit the 80 mark for the game. Came in averaging 85 points per game so far on the year. Brody Parker's going to back it out to the logo for Walters. 12 to shoot, float it to Brett White, who lays it in. Final minute from Garth Pleasant Arena. Warrior women got the win earlier, and it was a big win at that as they prevailed 78-74. Warrior men about 55 seconds away from falling to 5-2 on the season. 0-2 would be their mark in conference play. Meanwhile, Lourdes trying to go to 7-0 on the year, 3-0 in WAC play. First free throw is good. At the line is Sean Monroe. He won't hit his season high of 34 tonight, but he'll get pretty close as he knocks them both down. With those free throws, he's got 26. Brody Parker has to attack, and that's returned by Darrell Jones. Up the floor it goes to Monroe. He's one-on-one with Gunnar Walters. Float it baseline, looking for Fairley. Go back outside. And then grabbed and fouled by Brody Parker. So back to the free throw line again goes Sean Monroe. He's a perfect 7 out of 7 there tonight. Does have those 26 points as mentioned, make it 27. And again, this is all 7 games as he knocks them both down. All 7 games that Sean Monroe has played in this season, he has put up 20 or more points. Brett White launches away for 3. It's well off the mark, but he gets the whistle and the foul. So with 27.7 seconds to go, this should be 3 free throws for Brett White. First one is good. And again, quickly take a look at that upcoming schedule for the Warriors. Couple of road games on December 4th and December 7th at Aquinas and Madonna, as he sinks the second one. One more coming for him. We'll be back here on December 14th against Lawrence Tech. Women's game at 1 p.m., men's game around 3 p.m. as Brett White knocks down all three. Monroe will just walk it into the front court, and it looks like he'll just dribble this one out. He'll take a quick lap around his offensive end and just hang on to it. And what a night it was for Sean Monroe. 28 points and 3 assists. He goes 9 of 19 shooting and a perfect 9 of 9 at the free throw line. Derek Fairley and Caden Cruz finished with 14 points apiece, while Darrell Jones finished with 11. Those were the Gray Wolves in double figures. On the other side for the Warriors, James Fisher finishes with a double-double, 15 points and 10 rebounds. It was Brody Parker with a team-high 21, while Brett White finished with 17 points and 8 rebounds on 5 of 12 shooting. But it was not enough here tonight as Lourdes comes in. They move to 7-0 on the year, 3-0 in WAC play, while the Warriors fall to 5-2 on the season and 0-2 in conference play. So for SID Hussein Murray, my name's Stephen MacDonald saying so long from Garth Pleasant Arena, where your final score one final time is the Lourdes Gray Wolves 84 and the Rochester Christian Warriors 71. This has been a presentation of the Rochester Christian Sports Network. Good night, everyone.